All right, we're going to be talking about the end right in the beginning for us to see. Genesis 1:1. The word Genesis means beginning. And chapter 1, verse 1 is the very first verse. So I've talked about some of these things, but we're going to go over them. The value, the numerical value for the very first verse in the Bible in Hebrew is 2701. 2701. Here's the internet search. The Gematria of Genesis 1:1 in Hebrew is 2701. Now, this is an amazing number. One of the things that you see here that you can do is 2 plus 70 plus 1 equals 73. 73 is the numerical value for the word wisdom in Hebrew. In standard gematria, wisdom equals 73. So 73 represents God's wisdom. And you get that out of the value of the first verse in the Bible in Hebrew. 2 plus 70 plus 1, 2701 equals 73. But it's even deeper than that, because if you take 2701 plus its reflection, 1072, that equals 3773. Now the amazing thing about this is that 37 is the numerical value for the word wisdom in ordinal gematria in the Hebrew language, and 73 is the value of it in standard gematria in the Hebrew language. 37 and 73 both are the value of the word wisdom in Hebrew in two different types of gematria, ordinal and standard. Also, if you divide 2701 by 73, it equals, look at that, 37. But if you divide 2701 by 37, it's 73. 3773. But then if you multiply 37 times 73, you're back at this number. 2701. See what God did there? He encoded wisdom all in the very first verse of the Bible, because God creates everything through his wisdom. Proverbs 3:19. But you have to see it numerically to really see how amazing this is. So we have 3773, the numbers for the word wisdom in Hebrew, encoded all in Genesis 1:1. And God declares the end from the beginning, and this is the very beginning, the very first verse of the Bible. So if 3773 is the very beginning, and we know that God declares the end from the beginning in Isaiah 46:10, then what about September 23rd? 923. September 23rd, 923. If we add it to its reflection, 329, you get the number 1252. But if you do it one more time, 1252 added to its reflection, 2521, guess what number you get? That's right, 3773. The end, September 23rd, from the beginning, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. How crazy is that? 3773. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you is, if you take 3773 and break it down as such, 3 times 7 times 73, you get 1533. I've shown this before. What is 1533? That is the exact amount of verses in the book of Genesis. You see how amazing that is? So 3773, if you break it down, 3 times 7 times 73, you get the exact amount of verses in the book of Genesis. The beginning. From the end. And again, remember, September 23rd is 3773 as well. So you get the amount of verses in Genesis, 1533. Now, another thing I wanted to show you guys is this. That the number 2701 is a special number because it is a perfect equilateral triangle. Okay, the triangle didn't begin with the Illuminati or the Egyptians. These are God's things that man has used. Okay, what is an equilateral triangle? An equilateral triangle is a triangle that has the exact amount of dots on every side. So, for instance, a dot, and a dot. That's an equilateral triangle. Every side has the same amount of dots. 2 dots, 2 dots, and 2 dots. All right, now to make some more, right, we have to go this dot, and this dot. Right? So now every side has 3 dots. There's 3 dots, 3 dots, and 3 dots. So the word equal and then lateral, right? Equilateral triangle. 2701 is an equilateral triangle. Of all the numbers, it is an equilateral triangle. You can make an equilateral triangle if you go all the way down. Keep doing it. But the amazing thing, this is amazing, that 2701, the equilateral triangle that would go all the way down, right? Having the exact amount of dots on every side. Do you know how many rows it would have? Rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's exactly 73 rows in the equilateral triangle of 2701. 73, God's wisdom. And again, 2 plus 70 plus 1 is 73. Or 2701 plus its reflection, 1072 is 3773. 37 times 73 is 2701. Do you see what God did here? Just in this one verse? This is how deep the Bible is. It's so above us. It's complex mathematical code. That's what the Bible really is. And this is just a little tiny drop in the bucket. But it's right there in the beginning. God has declared the end from the beginning. Do you know that September 23rd, 923, which is the Feast of Trumpets, that is in the Hebrew months, the first day of the month of Tishri. And it's spelled like that, Tishri. Can you guess what Tishri means? Tishri means, I don't know if I'm going to spell this right. Beginning. Beginning. Is that beginning? Oh no, I messed up. I don't know how to spell beginning actually. Beginning. No, it's got to be 2 G's, right? Beginning. It's probably another G in there. I messed up. Beginning. So Tishri means beginning. And Feast of Trumpets is the first day of Tishri. And it means beginning. And Genesis 1:1 is the beginning. And Feast of Trumpets 9:23 equals 3773, which is in the beginning. See all these connections? Tishri, the word Tishri has 7 letters. 7 is the number of what? Divine completion. And it's the 7th Hebrew month. 77, right? And not only that, but September is actually the 7th month. Did you know that? It's the 9th and the 7th month. Could be looked at it like that. And Tishri is also the 1st month. So it's the 7th month, but in the beginning it was the 1st month. Because the 1st month would be the beginning, right? And the 7th month is going to be the end. Divine completion. All these things, these patterns, they're hidden, kind of. But they're there. They're there in ways that we could never even imagine. And Tishri also means the word creation. Tishri means beginning and creation. Imagine that. And the first day of Tishri, 923, is 3773. And 3773 is encoded in Genesis 1:1 more than once. The beginning from the end. Isaiah 46:10.